Malolos, Bulacan is a place full of life and history. In this vlog, let's discover the stories of the past and present of this city. Let's discover the things that make this place unique. We will also travel to some of the low-lying barangays of Bulacan, where flooding is a common problem whenever the water rises or during high tide. Let us learn the stories of the residents living in low-lying areas and witness their efforts to recover from the floods. But our fellow countrymen here continue to make a living. The weather is good today and we are here in the town of Malolos in the province of Bulacan. Join me in our adventure here in the towns of Bulacan. It's a bit rainy here right now, my friends. We left Pangasinan. The weather was nice and clear. We're here now, my friends, at Barasoyan Church right here in Malolos, Bulacan. This church became part of Philippine history because meetings were held here during the time of Emilio Aguinaldo as the first president of the Philippines. And right in this area, meetings were held and Congress took shape. And in this very area, along with the monument of Emilio Aguinaldo, here are the facts that we can read about this monument.
Here you will really learn about the earliest history of the Philippines when the first Philippine Republic was established. So if you love history, join us. You will learn a lot from us.
There, it's really wonderful to go back to landmarks that are part of our history. Exactly, it has something to do with the country, the Philippines. Sir, thank you. Alright, so now my friends, Sir Francie will take us. By the way, Sir Francie Adventure, our companion, is the one leading us on our adventure here in Bulacan. Alright, one of the important parts of history, my friends, are the old mansions that we can see right here, Casa Shrine. According to history itself, my friends, this very museum was built. At first it was made of bamboo until it was rebuilt with stone and made even more beautiful. That's why up to now this very museum is still being preserved, my friends. Admission is free, my friends. They accept visitors from 9 o'clock a.m. to 4 o'clock p.m. Tuesday to Sunday. So that means they're closed on Mondays? One of the best places to visit is the town of Malolos in Bulacan itself. Because aside from having well-preserved old mansions or houses, this place has also become a part of Philippine history. This is actually the first stone of the monument of the Republic of the Philippines. Right here in this area, deep within Malolos, Bulacan. You can see it. Now, my friends, Brother Francie will take us on a tour of the old mansions in this town. And let's take a look at the old mansions here. It's not just in Vigan. The kind with old historic houses, right? They're really all over town. It depends on whether they're still preserved. Friends, this very house was actually lived in by those young women. This is where Jose Rizal got the inspiration for his writing titled To the Young Women of Malolos. I just noticed, friends, and we are about to leave. We're heading to other areas here in Malolos, Bulacan. This house gets flooded, friends. That means, of course, that house is really old. It wasn't originally built like that. But now, because the ground is sinking, especially here in the province of Bulacan, the land here is sinking really fast. Especially the coastal areas. Wow, it's amazing, my friends. On the left and right, there are old houses right here in Santo Niño. So the old houses are really here. Meanwhile, in other places, you won't find things like these anymore. But look, this is the home of Dr. Luis Santos. There, they say that's the home of Dr. Luis Santos. Wow, that's amazing. These are old ones, my friends. The houses back then were really beautiful, right? When you pass by here, it's like you're going back to the old times. Historic places. But on the other hand, there's also this. There's also trash scattered around. Some areas are already sinking. I mean, because of the constant piling up here on the road. Probably because it gets flooded. That's it. It's slowly disappearing. It's also slowly sinking, you know. You can see the canals. They're really full now. Just a little rain and it will definitely flood. There, we're now heading to the town of Bulakan, my friends. The government is also doing a good job here. They're really collecting the garbage. That's a big help, my friends, to prevent situations like this. There's already flooding right on top of the canal itself. Here in Barangay Atlag, at the entrance of Barangay Atlag, my friends, we can see here the bridge is high. And then the water. If we notice, the houses here on both sides of the river are really affected, my friends. The water hasn't even completely overflowed yet. How much worse would it be if a typhoon hit? It will definitely overflow and the houses will really suffer. Even now, as we can see on both sides, the houses are already submerged in flood water. But it's a good thing the government is doing something. Right here in this area. If you notice, on the right side, there's already a dike there. Because we can see that the right side is lower, but here maybe that's part of the project. They will also put a dike here so that it can also help the people here so they won't really get flooded. What I'm wondering about is the water coming from there. That's from the sea, right? Is that correct? The sea, then it goes over here to the other side, but this isn't the sea here. That means when it's high tide, as you can see, it goes back. Because, my friends, the water is flowing fast and it's already high tide, we're going to our next destination. So we can still cross and our motorcycles can still make it through the flood water. I noticed here, my friends, that there are a lot of people selling mussels and oysters. This area is also nice because you can buy a lot of seafood here, like fish and shellfish such as mussels and oysters. In my opinion, my friends, that's why we notice that the water from the sea is somewhat flowing back to the land. That means most of the low-lying areas here in the province of Bulacan are really below sea level, especially the coastal areas. There are many fish ponds here on both sides. There, we notice some things here on the right side. So that means there's no fish pond there and it's public. So this is Barangay Mambo. At least, my friends, the construction of the mega dike is in full swing, and this is a big help for our fellow citizens here in the barangay. My friends, we are now here in the town of Bulacan, in the province of Bulacan. This is really just to address the worsening situation that, according to the residents we've talked to here, whenever it rains, this area really gets flooded and it's hard to pass through. So this is what our government is doing. They are raising the road. Oh, that's good, so that the people here will really benefit. And of course, that's part of it. The residents also really need to raise the sides of their properties so that the water won't really reach them, especially during the rainy season like this. And this right here, my friends, is the monument to Marcelo S. del Pilar as a reminder of his heroism. And he himself was born right here in the town of Bulacan. And this, my friends, is the monument to Gregorio del Pilar, the youngest general who fought and is known for his battle at Pasong Terard. And not far from his monument, we can see the old house. As we pass through the town of Bulacan itself, you'll notice, my friends, the old houses. Some of the houses here are beautiful and still well preserved. This town is really prominent and historic. It's in Bulacan, my friends. Because our fellow countrymen and heroes have made contributions. Who actually came from the town of Bulacan. Before the capital was moved to the town of Malolos, my friends, it was first established here in the town of Bulacan itself. The main center of commerce. From there in the town, my friends, we are now heading to the barangays here in this part of the town of Bulacan that are slowly being submerged in floodwaters. And really, some of the barangays here, according to what we've heard, are already completely submerged. Particularly in Barangay Talip-Talip-Tip. If you look to the left and right, the houses here have really adjusted. They've really been raised or they've elevated them. But still, even so, they're always getting flooded. Like that one, there's a flood. It's still the same. I mean, they're nice. The houses. That's just what I notice here. It doesn't look, it doesn't look like a slum. Somehow, you wouldn't even notice from the people here, from the houses here, that they've already been submerged in floodwaters. If you really go through and look at each street, each corner, the small alleys, the narrow lanes, you'll see, my friends, there's flooding like this. Let's take this as an example. Here, there, over at the end, it's already a bit submerged in the flood. Even though that's what's happening to us, that most of our fellow countrymen are being affected by flooding right here. In this place, we are still called resilient. Resilient. In the sense that even though we go through problems like that, you can still see the smile on our faces, despite all those problems. And because it's high tide right now, my friends, we really expected that this is what we would go through. We will experience this. We will cross the floodwaters. The only problem with this, if we can cross our motorcycles, that's what to expect. That's how the vehicles here have adjusted. It's because it always gets flooded. There, it's already deep here. Let's wait and see if there's a motorcycle crossing first. Now, Brother Francis crossing. I'll follow now. I hope the water doesn't get in, but I'm confident this motorcycle is high enough. That's intense, right? That's deep, my friends. Oh. The water is deep. Hey, still dead. No sticker. Tree. I'll leave it here. It's just a spark plug that's wet. Our spark plug got soaked. It even beat the automatic scooter. It's just the spark plug. It's wet. There it is. There's a voice. There's a voice. The tricycle broke down. Alright, here it is. Ours is fine. It's just that the spark plug socket is wet. Kaya, that's why it dies. Should we head up here, friends? Because it's high tide. There it is if we notice that. The water just rose. It's high tide right now and we got caught by it. The water only came up to here before. See, it's wet up to here. Usually the water doesn't reach here because this part absorbs the water. Sometimes it can cut out if it gets wet, especially if our socket is already grounded and water gets in. The motorcycle will really stall, and what's worse is that it was salt water that got it wet, right? It's really hard here if you get submerged because it's salt water that will get your motor wet, your motor. If it's fresh water, it's still okay. Here we go again. We have another deep part to cross here. What is it, bro? I'm going to check it out. We're just observing here, my friends. Because the flood is already deep. There, we'll try to cross it. What's worse is that it's salty, not fresh water. But there are automatic motorcycles. What if it won't work? Oh no. Thank goodness. And then my motorcycle, it's like it doesn't want to run anymore. Because we'll just take it slow, my friends. Isn't what happened to our countrymen here terrible? For me, I just hope we don't stop. Our boots might get soaked. It's hard if we stop. There, that's it. That's just shallow. There you go. Just don't go too fast, okay? So the water doesn't splash. Of course, that's a sport for the locals. Where the locals pass by, let's go there. Imagine if this is what our friends here go through every day. They're the ones who adjusted. Just look at how they act. So high.
So high, so high.
And this has really become a part of life for the people here. Especially in the rainy season. This is where the water gets pressurized. The water is already under pressure here. The pressure is strong. But the people here are still making a living. Impressive. The waters of the fish ponds have overflowed.
What was that again? Over there.
Nice. Look at that house, my friends. Our fellow countrymen here. Really? There, it's better and higher now. It's also good to see this here. The government continues to take action through projects that raise the roads so that they remain useful for the people here and so this town can be reached. And commerce continues as well. Heading towards the town of Bulakan. How's the motorcycle, bro? How's the motorcycle? This one too. Just Aaron, he's strong. If the driver is strong, so is the motorcycle. He was the only one left in that fight. There you can clearly see the trash. The houses here will also be raised. There, water is coming from above. I also noticed some of the other houses. The ones that are lower, they have their own pumps so they can get the water out after being submerged. Bulacan is experiencing land subsidence at a rate of 109 per year. According to a study by the University of the Philippines, Diliman College of Science or UPDCS, and the UP Resilience Institute nationwide operational assessment of hazards. This study lasted from 2014 to 2020. The areas in Bulacan with the highest levels of land subsidence include Giginto, Bulacan, and Balagtas. The main causes of land subsidence in Bulacan are the excessive and rapid use of groundwater due to industrial and agricultural activities. Rapid urbanization that has resulted in increased demand for water and land. Tectonic motion that causes changes in the structure of the land and natural compaction of sediments that leads to land subsidence. Land subsidence in Bulacan causes problems such as flooding, especially in coastal areas, salinization, destruction of infrastructure due to land subsidence, and loss of agricultural productivity due to land subsidence and changes in soil structure. We are here now, my friends, in Barangay Talip-Talip-Tip. We just came from Barangay Perez, Talip-Talip-Tip, Bulacan. And we can see here that so many houses are really submerged in floodwater. And even the others, especially the roads. Especially here, my friends, because as we can see, I don't know if there's a dike here, but if there is, the water has really overflowed it. And from where we're standing, we can already see the Philippine arena itself. If you notice, my friends, the water is flowing back really fast because it's high tide. Imagine that instead of the water coming from the mountains, from the land, going down to the sea. But here it's the opposite, my friends. And what's worse is that the current is really fast. There, look. Look at that current. It's coming from the sea going upstream. And there's even a house over there. It's already slanted, leaning over. And there's also a house over there that has really been abandoned because it was really eaten away by the water. They say those lands used to be fish ponds. And even back then, some parts of it already existed. That's agricultural land, but now since the water has reached it, it has just become a fish pond. And some of them are no longer useful, they've been abandoned. It's no longer practical to turn them into fish ponds. Because of the high water level, the fish escape. So, there are actually only a few fish ponds left that we can see there. From here, my friends, we can also see the reclamation area. They're building the new Manila International Airport. And that's all for now. Reporting from Barangay Talip-Tip, Bulacan. From Bulacan, we bid you farewell. Thank you for watching. Until our next adventure.